My woman, your past is not what I expected. The words hung in the air between us, heavy and unshakable. I had thought I knew everything about her, at least, everything that mattered. But the past has a way of slipping through the cracks, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. She stood there, watching me carefully, as if bracing for my reaction. Her fingers twitched at her sides, betraying the nervousness she was trying so hard to hide. Say something. I swallowed hard, trying to gather my thoughts. I didn't expect this. She let out a quiet breath, a mixture of relief and frustration. I know, I should have told you sooner. I ran a hand over my face, my mind racing. The past shouldn't matter, not if we were serious about building a future together. But it wasn't that simple, was it? Why didn't you? She hesitated, then finally said, because I was afraid you'd look at me differently. I didn't respond right away. A part of me wanted to say that nothing had changed, that she was still the same woman I had fallen for. But another part of me couldn't shake the images running through my head, the pieces of her life I had never known, never imagined. Did you ever think I'd find out? She sighed. I knew it was a possibility, but I wanted you to know me as I am now, not as who I used to be. I looked at her then, really looked at her. The woman standing before me wasn't the same person from the past she had just revealed. That much was clear. But knowing that didn't erase the knot in my stomach. It's just a lot to take in. She nodded slowly. I understand, but you need to tell me, does it change the way you see me? I wished I had an easy answer. I wished I could say no without hesitation. But the truth was, I didn't know yet, and that scared me more than anything. The silence between us stretched longer than it should have. I could see the worry creeping into her eyes, the way she clenched her hands like she was bracing for something she didn't want to hear. I took a breath, forcing myself to think past the initial shock. It's not that I see you differently, I finally said, my voice quieter than before. It's just I never thought this would be part of your story. She exhaled slowly, looking away for a moment. Neither did I. But life doesn't always go the way we plan, does it? I nodded, knowing she was right. My own life hadn't exactly followed a perfect script, either. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling in my chest. It wasn't judgment. Not exactly. It was something else, something harder to define. Were you ever going to tell me? She bit her lip before answering. If I felt like it mattered, if I thought it would change things between us. And now? Her eyes met mine, filled with an honesty I couldn't ignore. Now I don't know. Maybe it doesn't change how I feel about you, but I can't control how you feel about me. That was the part that made my stomach twist, because she was right. I didn't want this to change anything between us. I didn't want to be the kind of person who let the past overshadow everything else. But feelings weren't something I could just switch on and off. It's not easy to process, I admitted. I need time. She nodded, as if she had been expecting that answer. Take the time you need. Just promise me one thing. What? Don't let the past define what we have now. I looked at her, at the woman who had become so much a part of my life, and I realized something. This wasn't just about her past. It was about whether I was strong enough to accept all of her, the good, the bad, and the parts I hadn't seen coming. And I didn't know the answer yet. I sat there, letting her words settle in my mind. The weight of them pressed against my chest, making it hard to breathe. She had given me the truth, raw, unfiltered, and without excuses. I don't want to lose you over this, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. But I also won't beg you to stay. Something about the way she said it made my stomach tighten. She wasn't asking for my approval, only my understanding. She had lived with this part of herself long before I ever came into the picture. And now it was my decision whether I could handle it. You're not, I finally said, rubbing my hands together. It's just, I don't know how to react to something I never saw coming. She sighed, nodding. I get it. I really do. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The air between us felt heavier than before. I could see the way she was preparing herself for the worst, like she had been through this before, like she had already imagined all the ways I might walk away. That realization made my chest ache. I just need to understand it, I admitted, finally looking at her again. I need to understand you. Her eyes softened, though there was still uncertainty lingering in them. Then ask me anything. No more secrets. I hesitated. There were a million questions in my mind, but I wasn't sure where to start. Were you ashamed of telling me? I asked after a moment. She shook her head. No, I was afraid of how you'd see me after knowing. That hit me harder than I expected. She had been carrying this fear all along, worried not about what she had done, but about how I would judge her for it. And now, I pressed. She swallowed. Now I just want to know if you still see a future with me. Her words sent a sharp wave of realization through me. This wasn't just about her past. It was about our future, about whether I could take everything she was, the past, the present, and everything in between, and still stand by her side. And I still didn't have an answer. But I knew one thing for sure. I couldn't walk away. Not yet. I don't know what the future looks like, I said, my voice steady, but I know I don't want to figure it out without you. For the first time since this conversation started, she smiled. Not a big hopeful smile, but something softer, something real. Then we'll take it one step at a time, she said. And for now, that was enough. She exhaled softly, as if the weight of the conversation had lessened, even if only slightly. But I could still see the unease in her eyes, the quiet fear of how I would process everything she had told me. What happens now? She asked, her voice steady but uncertain. I leaned forward, my elbows resting on my knees. There was no easy answer to that question. I wasn't the kind of man to make decisions on impulse, but at the same time, walking away without understanding the full picture wasn't something I could bring myself to do. I think I need time, I admitted. Not time away from you, but time to process everything. Her fingers toyed with the hem of her sleeve, a nervous habit I hadn't seen before. I figured silence settled between us again, but this time it wasn't as suffocating. It was more like an understanding, an unspoken agreement that this wasn't something we could rush. Do you regret any of it? I found myself asking. She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she studied my face, as if searching for what I truly wanted to hear. When she finally spoke, her words were measured. Regret is complicated, she said slowly. I regret that it might change how you see me. I regret that I didn't tell you sooner. But the choices I made, they shaped me. And without them, I don't know if I'd be the person sitting in front of you now. I absorbed that, turning it over in my mind. It wasn't the kind of response I had expected, but it was honest. And what about us? I asked. Her lips parted, but no words came out at first. Then, with a quiet breath, she said, "That depends on you." The weight of that truth pressed against my chest. I wasn't naive enough to think that love alone could erase the past. It didn't work that way. But I also knew that the past didn't have to define the future, not unless I let it. I don't want to lose what we have, I admitted. But I don't want to pretend this is easy either. She nodded, understanding. Then don't pretend, she said. Just stay. I looked at her then, really looked at her. The woman I had fallen for, the woman I thought I knew completely, and maybe in some ways, I was just starting to know her now. The past was messy, the future was uncertain, but for now I was still here, and so was she, and that had to mean something. I took a slow breath, letting the weight of everything settle in my chest. The woman in front of me, this woman I had come to love, wasn't who I had imagined she was. Or maybe she was. And it was just my own illusions that had shattered. Her eyes stayed on me, searching, waiting. I could tell she was bracing herself for something. Maybe rejection, maybe disappointment. But I wasn't ready to give her either. Not yet. You've been quiet, she finally said, her voice softer than before. I don't know what to say. It was the only honest answer I had. She nodded, as if she expected that. Do you see me differently now? I didn't answer right away, because the truth was I did, but not in the way she feared. Before, I had built a version of her in my mind, a version based on the moments we shared, the stories she had told me, the laughter that had come so easily between us. But now there was more. Now I saw the past she had kept hidden, the choices she had made long before I ever walked into her life. I see more of you, I finally said, not different, just more. Her lips parted slightly, as if my words had caught her off guard. And is that a good thing? She asked hesitantly. I thought about everything she had told me, the mistakes, the regrets, the things she had survived. I don't know yet, I admitted, but I want to find out. She exhaled, and I saw the tension ease in her shoulders just a little. You don't have to decide anything right now, she said. I just needed you to know. I needed to be honest with you. I reached for her hand, hesitating for just a moment, before letting my fingers close around hers. Thank you for telling me. Her fingers curled around mine, holding on, not tightly, not desperately, but with a quiet hope. I still didn't know where this left us. But I knew one thing for sure. Walking away wasn't something I was ready to do. Not yet. She kept looking at me, searching for something. Maybe reassurance, maybe understanding. I wasn't sure if I could give her either, but I also knew I couldn't walk away. Not yet. There's more, she said, her voice quiet but steady. I swallowed hard. I wasn't sure if I was ready for more. What else could she say that would shift the way I saw her? Hadn't I already been thrown enough unexpected truths? Okay, I said finally, keeping my voice calm even though my mind was racing. She took a deep breath, as if preparing herself. I didn't tell you everything because I was afraid. Afraid that you'd see me differently. Afraid that you'd think less of me. Her honesty was sharp, cutting through whatever lingering doubts I had. I don't think less of you, I said, and I meant it. She hesitated, like she was trying to decide if she believed me. I used to be someone I'm not proud of, she admitted. Someone who made choices out of fear, out of desperation. Someone who didn't always do the right thing. I stayed quiet, letting her speak. There were times when I didn't know if I'd make it out, she continued, her voice laced with something heavy. I've hurt people. I've lied. I've done things I never wanted to do. And I hated myself for a long time because of it. I exhaled slowly, feeling the weight of her words settle between us. Do you still hate yourself? I asked. She blinked, as if the question caught her off guard. Then, after a long pause, she shook her head. No, she said softly. I've forgiven myself. I had to move forward. There was something in her voice that made my chest tighten. Then why did you think I wouldn't? Her lips parted slightly, like she wanted to answer, but no words came out at first. Then she whispered, because sometimes people don't forgive as easily as we forgive ourselves. That hit me harder than I expected, because she wasn't wrong. Some people would walk away. Some people would judge her only by her past, not by the person she had become. But I wasn't some people. I wasn't ready to make promises I couldn't keep, but I was ready for this, for her. I'm still here, I said finally, and I'm still listening. The relief in her eyes was something I wouldn't forget, and in that moment, I knew her past didn't scare me. Losing her did.